Well, thank you guys for coming, because these are just polo players for them to talk to. But man, I'm really excited because we've had a lot of firsts for our program this year, and so this is our first open house ever, and so that was really cool for me to have SwimRVA support and say have this open house, and we'll invite people. We had flyers. I had a table at Champs, so I got to do a lot of meeting and talking to people and just talk about our program, which is something that I really like to do. I love talking about water polo, and I love talking about SwimRVA. So, oh, yeah, I'm Jacob. I'm the head coach of the Rapids water polo program. I also coach the swim team. Yes, coordinator, right? Programs coordinator is me now. So it's a lot of things I do here, but water polo is definitely, I'm the head coach of the program, it's my program, but it's definitely one of my favorite things too. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I really love it. But
and I'm Coach Nick.
Oh yeah, I didn't introduce Nick, man.
Started January, but getting in the swing of things, and I love it. I have coached before for 7 years now. Right. Yeah, so I've been coaching a while, and just moved down here for school and joined the little community of SwimRVA, and it's been great so far.
I'm so excited. When I first started, I mean, it was like 17 kids, and I remember it blew my mind. We went 6 months without having a tournament or a game or like anything, just because we didn't travel, we didn't reach out to other coaches, we didn't have anything scheduled at our own facility, and so it was a long time where I feel like the program got pretty stagnant, because it was basically just like clinics, like come to practice and learn water polo, and then we went home, and there was no team building, there was no tournaments, there was no extracurriculars, there was no uniforms. We were just playing water polo. To be the only USA Youth Water Polo Club in Virginia is a big deal, especially so we're in the Northeast zone, and in our zone it stretches from Virginia all the way to Connecticut, and the Northeast, like USA Tri-State League, is in Connecticut, and so to be in the same zone and have to travel 7.5, 8 hours to play in the USA Water Polo zone, it's hard to get other teams and other clubs to come down to us, so we really have to grow everything on our own. And seeing that growth in 3 years has been really cool, really exciting for me, for the kids. I mean, there's kids who have been in our program the entire, signed up 4 or 5 years ago and have worked really hard to be as good as they are at the sport. So we went first at nationals. We have really good kids. It's just getting those opportunities to go out and play. And so having our program grow and having the facility that we can play at and host tournaments at. We have our competitive schedule down here. I can show you there's a tournament that we host every year. They started high school swimming, so that'll get more people involved in swimming, and then we can start to grow water polo that way. It's really exciting to have that growth and to be able to spread our program out and reach more people. So I have information about a water polo camp here. I have our competitive schedule. That's for the next, up until February almost, of the monthly tournaments that we're going to be attending. There's no requirement for tournaments you have to attend, practices you have to attend. Everything you do is because you want to do it. We practice 4 days a week. If you want to come all 4 times, that's awesome. We have kids who do that. If you want to come once a week, you can do that too, and you'll still get a lot out of it. You'll still be close with the team. So there's no requirements. We're not trying to force anyone into anything or say you have to do this, have to be here. We like to support everyone. You want to play soccer and play water polo, or do marching band and do water polo, you're allowed to do that, right? We have that flexibility. We practice year round, so we have our competitive season that goes from around September to July, but we're still in the summer, we're still practicing, we're still there every night, we're still working hard and having a lot of fun. So I do think the team aspect, it makes the kids a lot closer, and it also, again, holds them accountable. I use this quote a lot. Sev said it one time, and it was one of the greatest things I ever heard, because we were in practice and someone was kind of slacking off on a swim set, and Sev was like, come on, let's keep going. And they're like, why do you care what I'm doing? And he's like, you're my teammate. It affects all of us. We're a team. There's 6 people in the water. It's not 6 one-on-ones. It's 6 kids as a team. And I think that team aspect does a lot for us in the pool, but also just for kids everywhere. They go to school and they go to other sports, and even for themselves, accountability at home, doing homework. I hear a lot from parents that say, their grades have improved after playing water polo or doing whatever sport they're in. It's because that kind of accountability and that responsibility and holding your teammates and communicating like that, I think it helps them focus on what they have to do to get jobs done. It also makes it a lot more fun when you can be successful with your teammates and kind of see what we've been working on in practice and then have it work out in a game. And it's a really cool thing to watch happen, to play and grow and learn a lot. And again, like we look at our zone, or when you go to like the big tournament in California, the Junior Olympics, and probably 90% of the teams there that attend that are from California. And there was maybe like 3 from our zone that went. And so coming from where we are and not having the size that California does, or the size that Florida does, or even the size that Connecticut does, because they're probably the next best place to go for water polo. We have an awesome facility. We have awesome coaches. We have flexibility with hours where I can say, oh, we can't play on Sunday. We'll do a Thursday night practice, and we can hold those different things to get everyone the most out of the program that they should be getting. We've made a lot of steps. We start to look really organized. We're starting to grow, and it's pretty cool to look at growing this sport. Once we can get our club to the youth club to a big enough number is when we can take that to high schools and present and say, like Chesterfield just started their high school swimming 2 or 3 years ago, so they're brand new into that. And once we show that we have the need for water polo in our place too, because when we go to DC, all the high schools have water polo. They have pools in their high school, which is crazy to me because I've never been to a high school that had a pool until we went to DC or Pennsylvania. And then all their high schools also had water polo teams. And so growing a club where there's high school water polo and there's pools all over the place and everyone has that accessibility, it's a lot quicker. Not a lot of people know what water polo is or how to play water polo or where to play water polo. And so part of that mission is kind of builds into how our program works too, because we're in a similar situation with as far as accessibility and opportunity and awareness of our sport. It's just getting people to know what water polo is. I don't know how many times I'm holding one of these and like, why do you have a volleyball? I'm like, I don't have a volleyball. And just trying to get people to know that water polo is a sport that like anyone can play, anyone can do. We have it here available, and it's a lot of fun. So there's actually, they don't know what Bleacher Report is. As it was a Bleacher Report, they did like a ranking of like the hardest sports, and did like a point system based on like toughness, endurance, stamina, physicality, all that. And water polo by like far was the #1 ranked like toughest sport, just because it's a combination of passing, catching, like basketball, wrestling, swimming. Almost, it's basically taking like an on-land sport and then putting them in 8 feet of water and having them play it without using the bottom. So it's tough. It's a lot of work, but that's I think is part of what makes it so much fun. And I always tell families before they when they try the sport, I'm like, get to a tournament first. Like, go through the practices, get to a tournament, and then you can really make your decision, because I feel like once you get through practicing with the team and then you go to a tournament and you get to play and compete with your teammates and have that feeling and see what you've worked on in practice work out, I guarantee that you'll probably want to stay.